Hi, I'm Micki,
I'm Kat.
and we are Cat and Mouse Astrology. Welcome to the new moon in Aries 2022. Woohoo!
It's a new moon and a new year.
It is. It is a brand new energy.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah,
astrological new year.
we do have a wonderful new beginning, I think. There's a lot of positivity here
Springtime.
in
Yes.
this one. And it's always, I don't know, new beginnings are a fresh start. So just for that, it's kind of cool. This is,
Yeah.
why is this considered the astrological new year?
I don't know. Aries starts the chart off. So the new moon is in Aries is always the start of the astrological year.
Yeah. So
I don't
this
have
is
a better
pretty cool.
reasoning.
Right. I think that's exactly what it is. And, you know, we just had the equinox, so it's very close to that. And, but again, I think most astrologers would agree that this is the new year right here.
Yeah.
A big start. So, and there's some interesting things going on and coming up. Let's pull up the chart and take a look.
Okay.
And I'm going to share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So what jumps out at first to you most?
Well, it's very tiny for me because I'm on my phone.
Oh,
Is that a trine?
we do. We've got a trine
the new
between
moon
Mars and
Pluto?
Lilith. Yeah.
Oh, a trine between Mars and Lilith. That's
Saturn, Mars,
exciting.
and Lilith. Yeah.
Mm. I
And
didn't see that
even,
when I was looking.
right, there is a trine. So there's something, there's some energy and maybe some responsibility for the people in exposing something.
Maybe. Why do you say that?
Oh, let me share a little different. Because we've got Black Moon represents Black Moon Lilith down there at the bottom of the chart, represents that which is subconscious, which is maybe revealed. And it's at the bottom of the chart, which is the area that is representative of the past, the ancient past, and what is our base or foundation more than our karmic past. I'd say that was more 12th house, but the base of the chart does, you know, reflect the 4th house and reflect our deep roots. So Black Moon in that position in the base of the chart like that is rather interesting. And again, that
do you want to hear the symbol for the Black Moon?
Yeah, what's the symbol?
20 Gemini. A young gypsy emerging from the woods gazes at a far off city.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a symbol about emergence at the new year, the new moon, like coming out of the wilds.
That's very fascinating. And we've got the trining the Mars and the Saturn, which are conjunct in Aquarius. I don't know, that's pretty interesting. There's a lot of negative interpretation about the Mars and Saturn. A lot of people are quite concerned about this. What might be exposed, you know, let's think about that symbol. Let's come back to the symbology again in a minute.
Yeah.
Mars and Saturn, the last time it conjoined, and we're talking about every couple of years, 2 and a little bit years, was March and April 2020 when COVID hit.
Okay.
And so it tends to be, I mean, obviously we don't get COVID every couple 2.5 years, but it tends to happen in times of stress. Let's put it that way. And it's in the sign of Aquarius. You know, let's come back to that. It's in the sign of Aquarius. That's the most important part about this. So it's stress for people in general, you know, stress on the people, if you will. So that energy of Mars trying to push forward beyond the stop sign of Saturn is where the tension, where the stress comes in, the compression.
Mhm.
The compression comes in. So that in this trine angle, which is a very positive, beneficial thing, with maybe exposing something in Gemini, maybe exposing things in two different ways. I don't know. Read that symbol again. Now let's think a little bit more.
Okay, the black moon, it said a young gypsy emerging from the woods gazes at far off cities. And then Mars is a large white dove bearing a message.
They're going to be conjunct on April 4th at 22 degrees. What's 22?
22 is Saturn, a big bear sitting down, waving all its paws.
Yeah, I remember we had this one before a
Yeah.
while back. That's where the conjunction is going to be.
Okay.
A big bear sitting down, waving his paws. And that will still be conjunct Lilith here. Sorry, it will still be in a loose triangle Lilith there, because Lilith is not moving that quickly, and Saturn isn't either.
Yeah.
So we'll still have this trine in this couple of days. I don't know. What do you get? What's your interpretation of that?
The big bear seems very circus animal like. So, and I don't know if that's to be interpreted as just like an entertainment and a facade, or if it's to be interpreted as like a kind of liminal space where things aren't normal or what they seem. You know what I mean? Like a circus is on the edges of town. And like the gypsy is coming from the outside, from the edges. Like it's like a trickster energy.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's what I'm
can
thinking.
see that.
Like on the boundaries and edges of things, something coming from the edges of things.
Yeah, I think that sounds, that seems fitting. I always think of a bear, as the symbology of, very earthy and almost as a protective symbol.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a bear totem is kind of protective. It also seems maybe symbolic of Russia in some way. I'm not sure if bear is an animal representing Russia in any way besides my mind, but it's there in my mind. And I also can't help but think of Lilith in this position of maybe refugees.
Yeah.
Maybe an easier passage for refugees.
Mm-hmm. And a large white dove. Where Mars is right now.
Yeah. There
So
are,
to have Mars at like a position, a symbol of peace.
Right. And peace in the people in the signs of Aquarius. Yeah, that's very interesting. Sure is. And we've got 3 stelliums here.
Oh, wow.
Right. We've got this. The next one is that Jupiter conjunct Neptune, which for all practical purposes is within 3 degrees. So it is definitely conjunct now, but it will be exact on April 30th at 27 degrees of Pisces.
Oh.
What's 27 say?
Let me see. I gotta look it up.
This is the symbols. And the last time we had Neptune and Pisces conjunct Neptune and Jupiter conjuncted Pisces was in 1856.
Dang. 27 Pisces is a fertile garden under the full moon.
Ooh, yeah,
that's pretty nice.
That.
That's pretty nice.
That. And we're going to have, and notice we've got Venus has broke free from the confinement. Venus was between Saturn and Mars back on the full moon. And now it is free from Saturn. It's moving forward and it's headed into the loving arms of Jupiter and Neptune.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have like the next 2 weeks are, you know, the best of times for anything that is Venusian, anything that is Piscean,
Ah,
right? The waters will flow. They're fixing our
yay.
plumbing today or tomorrow. The waters will flow. You know, we've had 3 weeks of Venus being stuck between Saturn and Mars, and I've had no water.
Man, I've been
Aquarius
there.
is
That's
an
rough.
air sign. People think it's the water bear, and it is, but it's an air
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
And Pisces, we're moving into some nice water. So this is a time for, I think, spiritual cleansing.
Oh, that's a good, nice way to look at it. Yeah.
Bigger, making things bigger that are imaginative
Yep.
in both good and bad ways, of course, because there's not a negative or a positive connotation on how we make imaginative things bigger.
Right. I mean, it could be delusional.
That's right. I plan to do a bunch of writing during this time. What is it now, the Neptune at 23? Can you tell us that symbol?
Yes. An inhabited island.
Inhabited or uninhabited?
Inhabited. It's a bunch of people on an island. And Jupiter is a prophet bringing down new laws from Mount Sinai.
Interesting. And both headed again to 27, which was the garden.
Fertile garden under the full moon.
Uh-huh. So that's some pretty
For that
lovely.
one.
And it's interesting that it's got a square now to Lilith, the one that was symbolizing, you know, Jupiter's, and that seems very Saturnine, what you just read,
Yeah.
bringing down
The
the
prophet
law.
bringing down new laws.
Right. Jupiter doing that is, you know, on a, Jupiter's the benefic. So those are beneficial new laws, at least in a way that is spiritual and, you know,
Right.
helps in for the higher good. Those would be beneficial new laws.
Yeah.
Gotten, you know, no idea for the outer world. How might this impact people in their inner worlds, in their Pisces houses? Where's Pisces for you?
12th house.
So you got a coming together of something big and either spiritual or big and illusory, could be an illusion, or a big dream, big dream happening. With Venus coming up behind it, a big, beautiful dream.
Big, beautiful dreams.
Big, beautiful dreams in your 12th house of maybe things behind the scenes.
Yeah. That sounds
So,
exciting.
yeah. So if this is in somebody's first house, if Pisces is somebody's first house, their big, beautiful dream is happening right out there for everybody to see. It's not in the 12th house. It's right there in public. Some, you know, fantastic thing happens in their first house that's very obvious to everybody. Some beautiful big dream being realized. Again, it's possible it's a big illusion, but it's beautiful.
That's right.
That's the important part. If it's in Taurus, if it's if it's in Pisces and it's the second house, then you know, then we're talking about you know, a big beautiful dream that may impact finances, personal finances. You know, maybe somebody wins the lottery. Or what?
Resources, yeah.
Resources, yeah. Somebody gets given a gift or something. If it is the third house that the big, beautiful dream happens in, maybe that impacts, you know, brothers and sisters. Maybe a sibling wins the lottery. It could be a big, beautiful dream like that.
Yeah.
If it's a fourth house, what else could be third house? I feel like I'm going to third house.
It could be like good communications with close connections.
Right, big, beautiful communications that are dreamy or dream come true-ish. Yeah. Somebody gets a letter that says they're accepted into the school that they wanted to go to or something.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth house, a big, beautiful dream is realized in your home.
Right.
And fifth house, big, beautiful dream is realized in for your children or in some creative project.
Yeah, some creative project.
And if Pisces is your sixth house, then a big, beautiful dream realized in the area of health or wellness or day-to-day work activities. You get a new office space. Somebody fills up your office with flowers.
Yep.
Coming to work one day and there's flowers everywhere. And again, we're conjunct now. So we're conjunct over a period of time because this again happens April 30th. The exact conjunction is April 30th. So we've got a good long opportunity here of big, beautiful, dreamy.
Right.
Going
Jupiter
on.
and Neptune move really slowly. So this is an influence that happens over a long period of time.
Exactly. So if it's the seventh house, it's a big, beautiful dream come true in your relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Partnerships of any kind, might not be a, love relationship, but some partnership might be really a dream come true or an illusion. Be careful always. Eighth house, a big, beautiful dream about other people's money. I've got great ideas on how you can spend your money. Let's do it. This also could be a big, beautiful, dream realized, a project that, involves finances from a bank, or, somebody gets their loan for their house. That would be
Yeah.
eighth house rule too.
Eighth house is also like sex and secrets though, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's more scorpionic, but yeah, eighth houses are, death and taxes.
I have to do my taxes.
Yeah, well, there we go. We're definitely maybe everybody's gonna get a big, beautiful refund.
Hey,
Some people will.
Get the government's money.
Yeah, there you go. That would fit our eighth house.
That's other people's money.
Now, if it's ninth house, something that's related to higher learning, some big, beautiful dream realized in travel. Maybe somebody's been restricted and they're able to now to go see people far away that they hadn't been able to see before.
Right.
That could be ninth. 10th house, a big, beautiful dream realized in one's career, or what you do in the outer world. I always change it to outer world because people who, like men or women who are raising children,
yeah,
that's their career. It counts. They're doing it in the outer world, they're taking them back and forth to school activities and stuff. So that's actually, if that's something somebody actually does full-time regular, like, that's a 10th house designation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Last one would be the 11th house. And that would be a big, beautiful dream, maybe realized in the area of friendship or groups.
Mm-hmm.
You got accepted to that golf club. Any ideas? Any other ideas for the 11th?
Or maybe you just have a party with your friends because we haven't seen our friends in forever.
A party with your friends. A big loving party with your friends.
A big cuddle party.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's some
nice fertile garden under the full moon.
There you go, that fertile garden under the full moon. So this bodes well for, those things in the outer world and in those things in our personal life, as a relief from the compression, the pressure. And I'm using the language compression and pressure to deal with the conjunction and the squares between the malefics. So we have the square with Saturn and Uranus, and now we're having a conjunction with Mars and Saturn. So there's still pressure on there, but Venus isn't right freaking in the middle of it now.
Right.
And soon Venus will move completely out of Aquarius and be in the same sign in Pisces with Jupiter and Neptune, and we'll be in a much more positive, I would say, at least in that area of your life that we've just described, things are going to feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So, but as far as, it's the best of times and it's the worst of times. You may be feeling a whole lot of pressure in wherever you have Aquarius, your Aquarian house.
Mm-hmm.
But be feeling really good soon in your Pisces house. So that stress and tension, from Saturn and Mars isn't going to go away right away. What about our Sun Moon conjunction? Can you talk a little bit about our degrees there?
Yeah, our Sun Moon conjunction with the new moon is at 11 Aries, a flock of wild geese. And then it's also very close to Mercury at 9 Aquarius. A teacher gives new symbolic forms to traditional images. And Chiron at 12 degrees Aries, a failed bomb now safely concealed. So we have the sun and the moon at a flock of wild geese, and Mercury is giving new meaning to symbolic forms, and Chiron is processing and taking something that was really dangerous and making it safe for everybody.
That is so powerful, and right on the dawning of our new year.
Right, right.
So this is a symbolically important time.
Right.
And
so
all go ahead.
That flock of wild geese will be the theme for the whole year.
Right.
And so we should spend some time probably on like, what is the meaning of a flock of wild geese? Well, first of all, it's a flock. So it's about community and working with community to make progress towards something and taking turns in leadership positions so that everybody has a chance to lead and no one gets worn out from leading, right? Because that's how geese fly. The goose at the front drops back and they like rotate in their V formation.
What was the symbology for Mercury at 9 degrees?
A teacher gives new symbolic forms to traditional images.
Right. So for me, I mean, in the outer world, going to there first rather than to the personal.
Yeah.
I see the flock of wild geese as refugees. We've got 3 plus almost 4 million refugees now, having fled Ukraine, and hundreds of thousands fleeing Russia. Just as they fled Nazi Germany in 1939, they're fleeing Russia, the best and brightest, as quickly as they can. And they're talking about it because now we have, the age of the internet. So Mercury is right there communicating this with the symbology of, one more time, read that.
A teacher gives new symbolic form to traditional images.
Yeah, and that what I think of when you mention that with Mercury is we have had a lot of propaganda for a lot of years, much of it coming from Russia to the United States, saying essentially that democracy is a failure, don't bother with democracy, never mind your democracy, you might as well just give up on democracy, forget it, democracies don't work. And that really does serve autocrats to convince people. It's worked well in Russia on the Russian people. It works well to convince people that there's no hope. Just drink some vodka, give up. There's no hope here.
Yeah.
And what we are seeing because of the Ukrainian people's, this isn't a civil war like what happened in Syria because of Russia's influence. This is people who are fighting their damnedest, grandmothers and old men and everybody who can practically is besides children that they're trying to save and the mothers who take care of them, are trying to do their best to save what they feel is a democracy. They recognize it's an imperfect democracy, but they'd rather save Venus, save their beautiful democracy, than give into the plutocracy and the I'm thinking of the symbology of Pluto here,
Mhm.
as what's being offered by the autocrat in Russia. They'd rather run from that than, they'd rather fight that. They'd rather give up
Yeah.
their lives. And so what's our healing symbol again?
A failed bomb, now safely concealed.
I'm not sure that this symbology certainly doesn't only fit this. It can fit a lot of things in the outer world, but I'm hopeful that means that we've diffused, not we personally, but that Ukraine and others helping Ukraine have diffused what might have been much worse and maybe prevented it from happening. What do you think?
Maybe.
What do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we can hope that things don't get worse. But I'm thinking about like the notion of democracy, and if we can rethink that. I've been reading this book called The Dawn of Everything, and they talk about the 3 basic freedoms and the 3 basic dominations, and one of the basic dominations is charismatic, like individuals, and how disruptive that is to what democracy is actually supposed to be. And so like I'm thinking about like giving new meaning to traditional images. How can we reconceive of what we call democracy to get away from this cult of personality that we have in our democracy? Because I think it's really dangerous. I think it's dangerous. And I'm thinking of the flock of geese and how they alternate leadership roles. In their V formation, nobody stays in the leadership role for very long. And there's a rotation. And I'm just wondering like how much of our dysfunction as a democracy is related to people not being willing to give up power.
Yeah, I'd say nailed it. I mean, that's the problem with autocracy. I mean, that's why democracies are so fragile, is because they can so easily turn into an autocracy. Like you say, all you get is one person who is popular that ends up, deciding to sell their soul.
Right.
So I think it's pretty easy to have.
Or you end up with 30 people who refuse to leave. It doesn't have to just be one. It can be like the core group of elites who just will not let go of their democratic position.
Term limits. Can we say term limits? Term limits. Well, there's water flowing in my house now. So I hope that the dam is broken for all of you who have been stuck between the hard place of Saturn and Mars and are now feeling some of the joyous rain of Pisces and Jupiter and Neptune coming down on you.
Right. Beautiful.
So, I mean, I think that we do have some combination of the best of times and the worst of times going on right now. Because of our ability to have rapid communication and be able to see and understand things quickly, we have an opportunity to address things maybe in a way that can be more positive in the long run and lead to the kind of archetypal changes like you're talking about. Different language helps make things different. Right now we've been defined by the propagandists.
Right.
I'm
on both sides.
It doesn't matter. I'm so irritated when I hear Putin's propaganda literally coming out of other people's mouths. Like, really, can't you at least be careful not to spout the words from the Russian news sites that aren't news, it's propaganda, because that's really dangerous to repeat the propaganda of an autocrat.
Yeah.
So I think people do really need to be really careful about the language that they use, and it will really be helpful there. And it's also interesting that we have, you know, Saturn was in Aquarius last when the Soviet Union fell.
Oh, really?
Yep, that was 1991. That's also, keep in mind who's just been in the press. The Thomas hearings, Anita Hill hearings happened in 1991.
Oh, whoa.
Yep.
Wow.
So I find, you know, you can look back through history and see.
Again, a term
patterns.
limit.
Well, the Supreme Court is not supposed to have term limits because they're supposed to be neutral and not having.
Yeah, you can still be
to make
neutral
things
and have
better
term
that way.
limits.
Yeah, so we'll see about that.
You could
Maybe
have
some term
a
limits.
10-year term limit so that we don't have these people stuck in there for like generations.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't that be good now? Be nice to have a big turnover.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. What else do you think? I've got a lot of water making noise in my house. I probably have to wrap it up.
I think we
pretty
can
quick.
go. I think we can go. I mean, you saw this trine with the black moon, which I failed to see. What I saw was that everything was an aspect to the north node.
Yeah.
Like,
And we
our
definitely have a
moon,
nodal
Mercury,
access.
Chiron.
Right.
What's
There's
that?
definitely a nodal access going on here as well, because the malefics are square the nodes.
Right. Right. The malefics are square the nodes, but Pluto is trine the node, the north node, and Jupiter and Neptune are sextile the north node.
Right.
So there's all of this is influencing where we're headed.
It absolutely is.
Leave it there.
So, I mean, my hope is for the world that, you know, Vlad lost in 91 when the Soviet Union fell. That was very difficult for him. And this is going to be a difficult loss as well. And we may all be having a difficult loss somewhere in our lives.
Yeah.
There is a position here that points to an exposure and you know, a place where there's a rock and a hard place. You know, there may not be an easy, good solution to something in wherever you have Aquarius in your life. However, there's a lot of good stuff going on in the Pisces area of your life. And I know that personally because the water's flowing around here. And I'm glad the dam is burst for me personally. So again, I hope the dam is bursting for everybody in a really positive way. And everybody gets a little flow going on. And so what do you think? Any last words?
Oh, I wish that I had more in Aquarius so that I could have like the cuddle party under the full moon in the fertile garden.
Some friend is gonna have to bring you to that. Some Aquarian friend is gonna have to take you to that.
Aquarian friend is gonna have to come.
Oh wait, no, the cuddle party's in Pisces, right? Wasn't that the 27 degrees Pisces underneath the full moon?
Oh yeah.
Garden? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. It's a Piscean friend's gonna have to whisk you away to the garden and
Sweet.
get a little blooming time.
It's gonna be a good week.
It's gonna be a good week. Hey, everybody have a blast this week. Enjoy your free flow.
Yeah, happy new year. Happy new moon.
Bye.
Bye.